The United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It was good to see a crowd like this. So thank you all for attending. First, we consider the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, you got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is consider the minutes of March 24th, 2026, regular meeting. If I could get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I consider the minutes of the March 24th, 2026 regular meeting.
And a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Any citizen wishing to make statements during the discussion of any item must first be recognized by the commission chair. Let's see, I need to move this over a little bit. Any item must first be recognized by the commission chair. After being recognized, that person should state their name and the name of any organization represented. Statements should be limited to 5 minutes. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Recording the meeting is allowed, and the commission requests that anyone using special recording equipment be seated in the back row to avoid creating a distraction during the meeting. Next, we'll move on to old business, and there is no old business at this time. Moving on to new business. First of all, we have a proclamation. Amy Peshka, Program Director for the Domestic and Sexual Violence Center.
Amy's actually not here, so I'm going to share.
Okay.
more.
Hey, your work.
Okay. Right, so I'm Kylie Graves, the Executive Director at the Family Crisis Center. So we're asking that you proclaim Sexual Assault Awareness Month for April. So whereas sexual violence is a widespread, preventable public health problem in Kansas, and whereas sexual violence is any sexual act that is perpetrated against someone's will, which includes sexual assault, rape, unwanted touching, threatened sexual violence, exhibitionism, and verbal sexual harassment, and all types of sexual violence involve victims who do not consent or who are unable to consent or who refuse to allow the act. And whereas 1 in 5 women and 1 in 4 men experience some form of contact sexual violence in their lifetimes. And whereas 1 incident of rape is reported to Kansas law enforcement every 8 hours, 57 minutes, 58 seconds, and over 5,300 people received services for sexual assault from Kansas victim advocacy organizations each year. And whereas these statistics do not represent the true prevalence of sexual violence due to underreporting and sex offenders often targeting people they perceive as vulnerable, less powerful, or less credible. And whereas the offender is known to the victim in vast majority of the cases, 80% in Kansas. And whereas the effects of sexual violence may be felt directly after or for many months or years later, and confusion, anger, sadness, shame, guilt, helplessness, hopelessness, and self-blame are all common reactions to sexual violence. And whereas the Family Crisis Center provides free and confidential services to victims of sexual violence in Barton, Barber, Comanche, Edwards, Kiowa, Ness, Pawnee, Pratt, Rush, and Stafford counties. And whereas the Family Crisis Center is also available 24/7, 365 at our hotline via 620-792-1885 via phone call or text. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Barton County that the month of April 2026 shall be known as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Barton County.
Anything to add? Anyone?
No, the numbers are staggering. It's incredible and really appreciate the work that you guys do.
Yes, we also have a lot of events coming up. I'm not going to go over all of them because there's a lot for the month of April, but just if you're not part of our Facebook page, I ask you to join because we have a lot of upcoming things for the month, and we'll be posting about them throughout the month.
Wonderful.
Mr. Chair, I think you just came off your Red Shoes and Bunko 2 event.
We did, yes,
Well, it's
Saturday and Sunday. It was an amazing event.
Good.
On a Facebook post, it looked like it was a lot of fun and you had good attendance.
We did, yeah. We had about 450 women on Friday night and about 120 men on Saturday night. So it was a long weekend, but it was fun.
Good deal.
Okay, well, thank you for presenting, and the awareness is very important. So With that, I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve proclamation 2026-01 Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we have another proclamation, Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Kayla Bailey, Child Advocacy Center Program Director. Hello.
Morning. I'm reading this on also the behalf of Kansas Children's Service League, Barton County Youth Care, and Barton County Young Men's Organization. Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that requires all citizens to be involved. And whereas child maltreatment occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources, support systems, and don't know how to cope. And whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure families have the support they need to raise their children in healthy environments. And whereas Barton County, there are dedicated individuals and organizations that work daily to counter the problem of child abuse and neglect and help parents obtain the assistance they need. And whereas all children deserve freedom from verbal abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas all children deserve to have warm homes, loving hugs, tender care, parents and adults who listen and promote self-esteem, give quality time, provide necessary food, shelter, clothing, and attention. And whereas child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. And now therefore it be proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Barton County, Kansas, that the month of April 2026 is Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month in Barton County.
Do we have anything to add?
Again, I just appreciate you guys coming forward and talking about these very important issues.
I agree.
Did a good job. That's hard, isn't it?
Thank you for what you do and once again, it's bringing awareness to the public in Barton County. So I think that's very important. So thank you.
You ready?
You bet.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to adopt resolution 2026-02, Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month.
I'll second that.
We had a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Okay, once again, we have we have a resolution from Judy Gorham, Environmental Manager for Barton County.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So the first item is the Larry and Sherry Marshall Annual Conditional Land Use Permit Application Renewal. Back in 2022, there was quite a bit of meetings and studies, and what ended up coming of the situation out by the airport was his zoning request to change the zoning from residential was approved. And then when you have a salvage storage facility, that's only approved through a conditional use permit. And when we do conditional uses, our planning commission can recommend no special conditions or as many as they want. And due to the feedback from the public and concerns, there was a huge list. One of them, which is kind of unique, is that every year they have to go through this process to prove that their facility is in compliance, that they have their licenses. Every 3 years, they have to do water and soil testing through a certified laboratory. So this year's application includes the water and soil testing. Everything did come in. I reviewed the numbers, and there's basically no change in the I guess, parameters for the different types of volatile organic compounds found. So that's good and encouraging. They have 3 different licenses they have to obtain from the state. I have copies of all of those. And I learned something new this year. You cannot even get those licenses unless you have your proof of bonding. There was a little discrepancy with whether or not they had their bond. And it was on the insurance's side where the mistake was, but in the process, I learned they can't even get their license. So that is a clue for me in the future. If I have the license, they have their bond. But as you know, we had to do an extension. Their review every year gets a little slimmer and slimmer just because of the calendar. So it would have been on the 3rd of March, we would have done the review. He did not have the water and soil testing results back yet, and you guys chose not to have a meeting that day because you went, I believe you went out of town to Topeka. And so the week before, we did an extension request. And I'm very honestly glad for your recommendation of going to March 31st because I did not receive everything from Larry until around the 13th. And I was requesting the 10th. So it worked out great. His property is in good condition. There's been no violations, no complaints. So I would ask that you provide him another year of approval. It would be under resolution 2026-08. And I'd be happy to answer questions.
We have discussion on this?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Judy, now that we've done this for a few years, and we see the water tests and soil tests coming back clear, is that something we can go back to the planning commission and ask them if they can remove the yearly testing on that? Maybe do it every 3 years, lines up with the licensing or something?
So I've thought about that since we met in February. A conditional land use permit cannot be received unless it comes from the landowner. So this would have to be something that Larry and Sherry would pursue. But if they decided to pursue a new conditional land use permit requesting that X, Y, and Z be removed, that would have to go to a public hearing with our planning commission. Of course, anyone within 1,000 feet would be invited. I'm sure there would probably be some interest with those landowners. And then it would be voted on, and then the final decision would come to you. So he does have that option at any time to apply for a new conditional land use, but they have to come from a landowner. The county cannot instigate it.
Right.
It's like a zoning change. We can't instigate a zoning change. It has to be a request from a landowner.
And the water and the soil testing is once every 3 years. Is that
3 years. So this is the first time he's had to do it since 22.
I think he's always what he was supposed to do, I believe. So yeah, maybe if he's got any interest in doing the change, I guess it'd be up to him. So
Yeah.
which I didn't realize that either. So
It's his prerogative if he decides to pursue it.
okay.
And if he does, I'll facilitate it.
This had just happened to be a 3-year cycle where a lot more was due.
Yeah, just the water and soil testing.
Mr. Chair, is that part of our actual planning and zoning? Excuse me, or was that part of what when the permit was approved, those were the rules that we put forth, or is that part of all the rules for everyone? Does that make sense?
The conditional use permit statutory requirements are standard. So by statute, I cannot process a conditional land use application unless it comes from the landowner. They have to initiate it.
But this water and soil testing was something that's unique to this property that.
Yes, it's a condition of the conditional land use permit that was approved.
Decisions that were made in 2022.
Yes.
I think they were very important conditions at first, but if,
They just agreed why.
well, I'm just saying if, yeah, right. If those cars have been there as long as they have, if it hasn't started getting into the groundwater and soil by now, it's probably fine, especially now that it's had 2 rounds of testing, but.
And if I'm not mistaken, and I may be, but I remember back when we had all of these studies with Larry, they remove all of the fluids from those vehicles before they take them to the salvage yard. So if that were a fact, your likelihood of contaminating the soil is a lot less of a risk.
And I think that'd be his best interest to get him removed before he gets to his property.
So the other idea, just for thoughts, he is in the public eye every year. There's some advertising for Larry. He's still gonna have to do his licensing and his bonding. The only thing he would not have to do is do soil and water testing every 3 years, but he also wouldn't be front page news. So
True.
it's whatever he decides.
Okay. Discuss, I think I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move to adopt resolution 2026-08, annual review of a conditional land use permit.
I'll second that.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, once again, we have Ms. Gorm. Will provide some details on the planning commission.
Yes, so this is an annual process for our planning commission board. We have 9 members. They all serve a 3-year term, and every year 3 of them term. I've been very fortunate that my same core group has been willing to reapply for many years. I feel that although we have the same people, we also have people that know what they're doing because they've been on the board. They bring a lot of history to the board, and they remember things that we've had to struggle through versus a brand new person. I'm always interested in brand new people. Every year I advertise, and the last time I had any interest was when we were in the middle of getting ready to dig into the solar regulations. Since then, there's been no activity, which is typical. But this year we've got Chad Ehrlich, Junior Welsh, and JC Bosch up for reelection. They have all reapplied. And I would strongly recommend that you reappoint them to my board.
Okay, do we have discussion?
I just have a question. Judy, do you guys have term limits on how many times you can be on the board?
No. No, in fact, 3 of my members have been on the board longer than I've worked for the county. They don't like it when I give the number, but it is over 25 years.
I know a lot of these, they put in lots of hours.
They do,
And it takes a lot of educating
they do.
to get them up to speed.
They do about as much cognitive struggling and thinking that I have to do. I mean, it is a lot of work to come up with regulations that are not self-centered, that are for the good of the people and the good of the county. And you constantly have to refocus that back and think, okay, I can't throw my own personal opinions in here. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to represent Barton County, the farmers, the residents, the people that have businesses. And it's a heavy job. And for people to volunteer their time to do it is commendable.
Also, I imagine at times it's thankless.
It is. But you know, anytime you're in regulations, it's pretty thankless most of the time.
Well, thank you for what you do, Judy.
Thank you.
It's a very hardworking board, so.
It is. Okay, do you have any more discussion? If not, I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd move to reappoint J.C. Bosch, Chad Ehrlich, and Junior Welsh to the Barton County Planning Commission for an uncompensated positions terming March 31, 2029.
I'll second that.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
The one thing I didn't comment on is that our board has to consist of more people living in the unincorporated area than living in the cities. And it's way over that. So we're good. Get more representation from outside. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next, we have Jennifer Hamby, our solid waste director, will provide details.
All up.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning, Jennifer.
So the landfill operates a 2015 826K Caterpillar compactor to push and compact trash. This compactor is starting to have some major mechanical issues with its engine, transmission, and hydraulic system. And many of our wheel tips are missing as well that will need to be replaced. The repairs to keep this machine operable will be costly. Foley's Caterpillar offers a certified rebuild program with a 5-year, 6,000-hour warranty on the powertrain and hydraulic system. This compactor has 10,098 hours on it since its last rebuild in 2020. Recommendation for a rebuild is every 10,000 hours. The quote for the rebuild is $638,060.54, whereas a new machine would cost around $1.3 million. So I'm asking for your approval to go forward with a rebuild on this compactor. Is that any question?
Yeah, it's half the price, and the way I think you've just informed us earlier at a work session that basically they change every nut and bolt and
Yes,
anything that's even close to possibly failing.
yes, it is stripped completely down and repainted and
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I asked Jennifer last week when you sent out the information, what this machine would be valued at after the certified rebuild, and can you share that?
it would be between $830,000 to $850,000 after it's rebuilt. Is what it'd be valued at. Trade-in value as it sits now is $85,000 to $90,000. So it'd still be $1.2 million to purchase a new one with trade-in.
And you've had good luck with the certified rebuilds
Yes.
in the past.
I think it's important that the public hear that we ask those questions prior to rebuilding a piece of machinery for $638,000.
Well, this is the second rebuild, right?
Yes.
It's the first time in like 10,000 hours, so we're right there again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still sounds like a huge amount of money to me, but there's, I don't know what else you do. And I guess that's why we have to charge the rates that we do at the landfill.
And with the retipping the wheels, so the tips we have on it now are what they call a combination tip. And we've had a lot of issues with them falling off, coming off, and we've had to have them replaced. A couple of years ago, we had to have several of them replaced, but now there's even more gone. So we're looking at, it's an older version, but it stands up better and it will actually tear up the trash better. But just to replace those tips alone on all four of the wheels will be $73,000.
Ah.
So when I say it's costly, just to replace those tips to a tip that will last better is going to be a lot of money.
That's just crazy.
Just the wheels.
Yeah, just the wheels, but you gotta have it. I mean,
Right.
that's what you gotta do. So,
Jennifer, I don't think we asked in study session, how long will the compactor be gone and will you be able to cope with just one or?
They're normally gone probably 4 to 5 months. And we do well. Basically, so we'll have a dozer as a backup. That will stay at our construction site and our other compactor will stay at trash. And twice a day, we'll run the other compactor over to the construction and compact. So we work those two machines, and as long as that dozer stays and we don't have any troubles with any of the others. The last time we had a rebuild, we had issues with the dozer overheating. It was during the summer months, and so we actually had to rent a dozer for a little bit. So as long as everything else stays running well,
keep your
Cross our
fingers crossed,
fingers.
yeah.
yeah, we'll be fine.
Okay.
And will they be able to get it in right away or what's it?
Yes, actually, I thought they told me originally it was in Wichita, but it's now in the new rebuild facility in Kansas City. It's actually in Missouri part of Kansas City. So actually it started when they were assessing the initial repairs. We were just gonna have it repaired, and then they got into it and said, hey, there's a lot of stuff wrong. That started in Salina. Then they did move it to Wichita, and now it's in Kansas City. So it's just taking a trip all over.
But it's the best place to get it
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, okay, that's important. We want it to come back the best it can be.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. All righty.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
would you like a motion?
I'm ready.
I move to approve the rebuild of the 2015 826K Caterpillar landfill compactor. The estimated cost of the rebuild, $635,060.54, as offered by Foley Industries, to be paid from the Solid Waste Fund 140-68-5460.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, I'd like to correct that. It's $638. You said
Would that-
$635,000.
You want to repeat the amount?
$638,060.54. Is that what I said?
Perfect.
That's
I'll
fine.
second that motion.
We've all done that before. So,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you. Oh, we need a motion. First and second. Oh, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Now we're ready. We can move on. Information Technology Director, we have Derek Hollingshead. Give us some details.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm in front of you for cloud storage. We saved some of our files offsite to Wasabi. They're a cloud storage vendor. We've been using them for several years, and so I'm just here for another renewal for this year for the next year. We submitted it for an RFP or put it out for bid, and we had no local vendor. So at this time, I'm just recommending that we proceed with SHI, who we've used for the last several years. Their bid came in at $8,226. So it's a little higher than last year, but we're moving more data to the offsite, so we need more storage offsite. Questions, concerns?
I think you've always had really good luck with SHI. How many years have you on?
I've worked with SHI probably for the majority of my life here, which is about 8-ish years. So they came through with us during COVID, during 2020, when we were having to do a lot of changes technology wise. So they've been a trusted, non-biased vendor. So that's what I probably like most about them is they don't sell product A, they sell all the products. And so they can give me an unbiased review of all the products, and then we can kind of go through them all and figure out what's the best for the county. So Wasabi ended up being a good choice because it was cost effective to the county.
Thank you, Derek, for doing all the homework and getting us all the information and staying cost effective, I guess. So if not,
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to thank you, Derek, for making sure to include the local vendors anytime we're looking at anything that we're doing, and we can't always provide it locally. And so
Yeah, there's certain times where it's a fit and sometimes it's not a fit. And I
Sure.
think this one's probably not a good fit for local vendors. So it's not a typical one that a lot of people sell. So
yeah, it wouldn't make sense to buy this locally, but I just wanted to extend my appreciation to you on behalf of the other business owners in the community for making such an effort to make sure they get a shot at it.
Yep.
With that, I'd be happy to make a motion.
please.
I'd move to award the request for proposals, Wasabi Cloud Storage to SHI, total cost $8,226 to be paid from the general fund information technology account licensing line 001245423.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Williams, Facilities Manager, will give us some details.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barton County went out for bids for contract cleaning and custodial duties for the Barton County Health Department. We received 5 bids. 2 of them were from out of state. 1 was from Wichita, 1 was from Lenexa, Kansas, and 1 was local here in Great Bend. The low bid was corporate cleaning from Lenexa, Kansas, with a yearly total of $21,732. The next low was from Frontline out of Miami, Florida, $26,648. I contacted corporate cleaning last week, and the furthest west they come out is Salina, Kansas. They clean the regional hospital in Salina. I asked them how they're going to handle the health department. They said they'll probably go out to Indeed and hire somebody local. So that's kind of what we've been going through. So I recommend we reject all the bids and go to a plan B and try to contact somebody local here in town or in the county.
Good choice.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, well, if that's, I'm ready for a motion.
You guys gonna make me do another one? Mr. Chair, I move to reject all bids and direct Mr. Williams to work with the county administrator in hiring a local firm to provide contractual cleaning service.
Okay, in a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, we had a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.
Okay, next we'll move to economic development. Mr. Potzner is going to give us some details.
It needs to be lively, Matt. The crowd's going silent.
Child care facility in Clap.
Morning, Commissioners.
This morning.
With a goal of supporting economic development through targeted projects and a belief that childcare is critically needed throughout the county, today that we will ask the Commission to consider reimbursing ABCC Inc. the cost of building a road in Claflin to facilitate the use of a new child care facility. Monies are available in the finance general account of the general fund for economic development endeavors. The total cost to complete the road was $9,808. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Sure, we've got some discussion on this.
Well, Mr. Chair, I was going to say, when we were first invited to a meeting with the ABCC and USD 112 up there at Claflin, they were wanting us to participate with building the road and actually having Road and Bridge go in and build it. And then we had engineering look at it. And it came back better, maybe that we have Aikens build the road and then we just pay for that build so that they would do the engineering and put the road where it needed to be and the grades would be all right. And then we did contribute some rock, I believe, that the guys hauled up there. So I think we came away from maybe we shouldn't build the road, have Aikens build the road. They were up there.
And it was already there, yeah.
And Aiken was already there. They were doing the path.
Road and Bridge, we're not in the business to build roads.
Right.
So
Right. So we kind of looked at this as an economic development endeavor rather than a road bridge. So I think it's great. It looks really good. They're made quite a bit of progress up there.
I think I did see it, maybe a couple weeks ago, and things are coming right along. I don't know what the inside of the building looks like, but the outside looks like it's pretty well accomplished.
Yeah.
And, this is something we've been working on a long time. And, it's finally coming hopefully to an end here, and children, the mothers will have a place to bring the children and they work, so.
Do you know what the target opening date is for that center?
I have not heard. Have you heard anything, Matt? I've not heard.
Exciting.
It's good. You guys remember when, the then superintendent, in Claflin came to us and they had a plan at the time to bring in, I think, modulars or trailers. And so.
They sold some tax credits and they had some tax credit money, which I'm pretty sure went to this project.
I'm
as
sure
well.
it did, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it did.
They were going to
And we
bring in
were-
modulars.
Yeah, maybe just hold off. There's some things in the works. Well, that was probably,
How this turned out.
it turned out great. That was probably 2-3 years ago.
Yes.
Maybe.
It's been quite some time
I know
ago.
we're in the Penny's building at the time.
Right.
But hey, this is a solid, permanent foundational structure for
Yes.
the
Going to
children.
be very nice.
I hear there's a lot of kids in Claflin. I don't know, something in the water there, I guess.
A lot of good things happen in Claflin, right?
Right, and that building will be there for a good many years, so I think that was a good investment for just for Barton County in general, so. Okay, any other discussion on this?
No, would you like a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to allocate $9,808 in economic development funding to ABCC Inc. for road improvements to improve access to childcare in Claflin. Funding to be paid through the finance general account of the general fund economic development line 001-26-6880.
Okay, in a second,
I'll second that.
first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Mr. Kelly, Emergency Manager Director, will give us some details.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm here I'm up here on behalf of the fire chiefs from the county for you guys to consider putting in place a temporary burn ban for the county. Persistent dry weather. We've red flagged now about 5 days in March. And we've seen a pretty good uptick in the fire behaviors right now. The temporary ban is just that, it's temporary. It's not going to be a reoccurring weekly resolution, but it will be until you guys decide to lift it. This comes from the fire chiefs. They've emphasized that the dry conditions are creating a heck of an issue for them. It's not an emergency disaster declaration burn ban, but just a temporary burn ban. We have assisted in Russell County. We've had our own Barton counties. We've been down to Stafford County. We've been over in Rice County. We're fighting fires left and right. The whole state's seeing this issue. Currently, we're in the abnormal dry for the drought monitor. Stafford County's in moderate drought. Half of Pawnee County's in moderate drought, and I don't foresee the end of this week helping us get out of it. I know they've talked moisture coming, but it's a lot of that good stuff is going to stay west or stay east of Salina to Wichita. So
So if it would rain 10 hundredths or 20 hundredths, would that get us out of the drought? Okay.
It's not gonna hardly make a dent in anything but to knock the dust down.
Right, and we've got, I think, 35-mile-an-hour gusts today.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep, our humidity is gonna be up a little bit today, which is gonna help, but we put on a lot of fine fuels back in September with that late rains, and that's really caused us some heartache right now.
Okay.
With everything that's dead and no foreseeable moisture that's gonna help us get out of it. So it's my recommendation to adopt this resolution.
If anybody's got any questions, call the fire chief, would that be a good thing
We
to
have a
do?
few of them sitting. in the
We've got a
room.
couple representative, one from Ellenwood and one from Claflin, and Great Bend, yes.
Publicly announce your cell phone numbers if people have questions.
Mr. Chair, I think it'd be appropriate to ask them if they're all in favor of a burn ban.
I believe so. That's, you
That's
bet.
3 yeses.
Okay, 3 yeses. Do you have any other comments or anything, you guys? Okay, I appreciate you guys coming though. I'm assuming that's why you're here is to, for representative on, and in favor of the burn ban. So thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I'd just like to say thank you to all the crews that responded to the fire south of Ellenwood that ended up being at the refuge. But I mean, the wind would have changed direction. It would have been in Ellenwood in a heartbeat. So we had quite a few scares.
Right, in that Quivira, am I right? You guys were out all night? And I think Claflin helped and Great Bend responded. So, I mean, hey, you know, we can't get any better than that for everybody helping each other. So thank you all for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this comment that I had, I think this is your first burn ban since you've been the director, isn't it? Correct. So the only thing when Amy was the director that I always had to say was that I don't have a problem putting the burn ban in place, but when the conditions get better, I'd like it lifted as soon as possible. And I think we all probably agree with that. That way it's not limiting agriculture from doing what they need to do.
Correct, I agree.
So with that, if you're ready,
I'm ready.
move to adopt resolution 2026-09, a resolution establishing a temporary burn ban.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have first, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Much appreciated, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any need for an executive session? See none? Okay, ending business. The announcement following the close of the agenda meeting, the commission will consider the authorization of personnel changes for classified positions, sign any documentation approved during the agenda meeting, or sign any other documentation required for regular county business. Similar action may take place throughout the day. County business offices will be closed on noon Friday, April the 3rd, 2026 for the Easter holiday. Barton County landfill will close at noon as well, but will be open regular hours on Saturday, April the 4th, 2026. Emergency services will be in normal operation. Although subject to change, the following appointments have been scheduled at 9:45 or following the close of the agenda meeting. Planning session with media consultant at 10 o'clock, financial update and regular business discussion, Matt Potzner, County Administrator. 10:30 program update, Judy Gorham, Environmental Manager Director. 11 o'clock, trash bids, Darren Williams, Facilities Director. 11:15, Mr. Potzner will continue regular business discussion and the county edition KVGB AM Thursday at 11:05 AM. Sheriff Brian Billner is scheduled for April the 2nd, 2026. And I'll highly recommend you listening to this because Mr. Billner, the sheriff, really, he has a lot of good information and sometimes it's even entertaining. And you learn a lot too. There's a lot and he brings out a lot of history. Okay, next we'll move on to discussion items, and this is mainly for the commissioners. Nothing today? Okay, I just want to remind everybody, again, don't come to the courthouse on Friday afternoon because it will be closed. And this is another one of the perks, I guess, for the employees. Not every business lets them off on Friday afternoon, so keep that in mind. Citizens or organization may present requests or proposals for initial consideration at this time, and this is for the public. No comments? Okay, we'll move on. One or more commissioners may be present in the commission chambers conducting county business throughout the day on Tuesdays. The commissioners may individually schedule personnel appointments related to the county business at their discretion. And the next regular meeting will be at 9 a.m. Tuesday, April the 7th, 2026. And with that, I'm ready for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.